Friday, June the 10th, 2022, and after a brief hiatus last week due to the Jubilee celebrations, I'm now back underway, about to undertake book 1, walk 27, a walk that was last done 13 years back on my mobile, so one of the few remaining now that needs an update, and the others are pretty tricky for me to get at, being probably 3 hours plus journey time. However, I might get round to them, but this is certainly feasible now I've got the new rail card. Got a good day today, which is why I didn't walk yesterday. Too windy for filming yesterday, and even today up on the heathlands it could get a bit breezy, so there might be some wind interference. As you can see at the moment it's cloudy, but we've got sunny intervals today. Temperature about 21 degrees, so pretty decent. As I say, the only possibility is the wind. Always my bane really. I do remember this station, interestingly, probably because other walks start here and I might have been here more recently. But certainly 13 years since I did this walk, and it hasn't been updated really by anybody else since either. So let's get cracking. I've got an earlier start today because the train out, the only way of doing this was to get an earlier train, so here I am. It's coming up 12 o'clock. I've got 11.5 miles of walking. Should be done by 6 easy. Let's see, assuming I don't get lost on the heathlands. Onwards and upwards. One downside to this walk is that initially you've probably got about a mile of walking along a road, so probably won't be doing much filming between here and where the countryside starts. The road goes alongside Milford Golf Club here. What do you expect in Surrey? Plenty of golf courses. Well, I thought these notes were updated in March 2022, but reference is made there to a cooperative. So unless that's changed in the intervening couple of months, it is in fact a Nissa. Nonetheless, supplies are available there if any are needed in this early part of the walk, but they do stock co-op. Passing Secret's farm shop, another possible home of supplies for those that need them. With the village hall opposite, which looks rather dilapidated. Okay, as I suggested, just over a mile in here, just come up on the GPS. So now we should be hitting the countryside, down this lane, leaving this rather urban environment behind us. Passing Mousel Court on my left, and I can already hear the hum of the A3, not too far distant. Wonderful little property here called Chimneys, but it's right next to the A3, which we're just about to cross over. Still in Jubilee party spirit. And as you can see here, this is one of Surrey Hill's many cycle paths. They really are blessed down here for cycling, hence the national race that they have down this way. Passing over said road, which isn't massively busy at the moment. Okay, here we go, into woodland, Cooling Woodland, and at this juncture, which looks like quite a new finger post, take a slight right following the public footpath as opposed to the bridleway. Yeah, this is more like it. First style of the day. Point 8 refers to two styles here, first one being broken Well, it looks like they've taken that away now, 3 months on. There's only the one, which is slightly dodgy as well. Why Surrey don't organise a kissing gate here is beyond me. Ramblers have put it in for them, I'm sure. Surrey and beyond, for example. Lovely plantation of Norway spruce here. Lovely aroma. Not sure what that bird is though. Obviously likes Christmas trees. Clearly potential for a waterlogged path here. Not today though, thankfully. Good cuckoo territory this, but I think they've stopped singing now. Won't be long before they're going home, unfortunately. But I've had a good season, having heard 6 plus 1 female with a slightly different call. Passing a very pleasant house there, which, as you may have just heard, is exactly 2 miles into the walk. Now about to enter Ragmore Common. Google that if you're interested, and it does support some very rare butterflies like the White Admiral and the Purple Emperor, which I've seen down in Norfolk near Sheringham. Well, in Sheringham Park actually. Yep, always a danger. Wonderful. This is lovely walking. Mixed ancient woodland here. Very tranquil. No jet noise. Well, there's a little bit. And of course the busy A3 now goes through a tunnel in the distance when we get to Hindhead. Okay, you got a little junction of paths here. You follow the blue one on that finger post off in that direction. We're now on Royal Common. The blue colour representing a bridleway, of course, and clearly the path reflects that, with cycles and horse hoof prints rutting it in places, because it is a soft sand underfoot, which I think is why it drains well. Some form of warbler singing over there. Unsure if it's a garden warbler. Don't think it's a blackcap. Lovely. Well, there you go. MOD land now. We are about 200 foot up here, believe it or not, but you can't gauge that because everywhere's woodland. But we will be able to soon when we come out into the open. We've now reached Natural England's Thursley Nature Reserve, which you can Google for more information. But amongst its rarities there are the early marsh orchid and the black darter. Wonderful. There's a song thrush singing somewhere there. Deer over there grazing. I think it's a deer. Solitary, which is unusual. The GPX track takes you slightly off the bridleway, brings you alongside somewhere called Forked Lake, which you'd probably get a better view of in the winter months. I can hear plenty of waterfowl, mind. In fact, it's Forked Pond, not lake, although it is a small lake in size, as you can now see. Just by another Thursley NNR information panel, we do a left here. There's a building behind me there, through the trees. Do a right at that, come to the point where I am now. Pretty decent surface underfoot thus far, and the track has been on cue. Stopped using the instructions once I got out of Milford, as per usual. Then shortly after that, follow this blue bridleway symbol through these trees, as opposed to the cycle track, which is broader down that way. It's now like walking on a beach. Wonderful. And because it's so tranquil, I haven't passed a soul yet. Ideal walk for me, this. There are plenty of deer individually running out of the vegetation to the sides, though I'm not able to capture them on film because they're gone before you know it. Big buzzard up there. Now about 275 feet up. Wonderful. Just a slight hum of the A3 in the distance. Aside from that, very pleasant. So at this juncture we leave the blue bridleway, which goes off that way there, and take the sandy way to the left. Not the immediate left, which is back on yourself almost, but towards that hill up there. Bits of purple there. A couple of more months before that's everywhere, mind. Not much gorse in flower, missed that by the looks of it, this particular variety. But as I've mentioned before, there's so many varieties of gorse apparently that there's always one in flower at any point of the year. About 300 foot up here, views back whence I've come, and as you can possibly hear, now I'm out in the open, the wind's picking up. Glorious views, glorious weather apart from the wind. Good for the old tan, mind you. Lovely views on the motorway here. Crimson and white varieties here of a plant that I can't remember the name of, but just coming into bloom. Lovely. Okay, so we're now out of the wildlands for the time being. Very close here to the lunchtime pub stop, the Three Horseshoes, which as per I won't be stopping at, but you can Google that for the menu and reviews, etc. Very decent pub by all accounts. popular at the moment, as you can see. And I thought we were meant to be going through hardship. Not for some in Surrey. And the pub is exactly 5 miles into the walk. So I've just been told. So ideally positioned. The church, where I'm stopping, will be even better positioned. Because that'll be about 5.5 miles. There's a much better looking village hall, Thursley Village Hall, which has a seat outside as another possibility. So there you have it, named after Thor, who apparently had a battle with the devil, and the devil picked up a handful of soil at the punch bowl, and that's why it's called Devil's Punch Bowl. So there's the commemoration for this village sign. Okay, here's the church at Thursley. 2 o'clock on the button. No bells to ring, I don't suppose, here. I'll get the name in a second. I did read it earlier. Yep, St Michael and All Angels. And I do remember this place. I remember sitting in this solitary seat and enjoying that vista. So as I say, this is the only seat in the churchyard. Just gone 2 o'clock. Lunch is served. However, this won't have been the seat I sat on 13 years ago, because the donator of it only died in 2017. God rest their souls. And thank you very much. 20 to 3, lunch has been had, and it looks like the church has had a new roof and a chimney put in. Can't recall from my previous video because I haven't watched it recently, but I will. Don't recall that chimney being there. Let's have a look inside, see what they've done there. Okay, here we are inside, and I was just talking to a lady in the entrance who does a bit of cleaning here, and she tells me that indeed the roof was done within the last few years. Good job. No stained glass there. There is at the back though, as you can see. Oh, and there's the bell tower. Although I don't know if there's any, yeah, there must be bells on it, but they don't ring at the top of the hour or the quarters. Wonderful. Look at that organ. Yep, lovely. Very cool in here compared to outside now, which is about 21, 22 degrees. Now, I didn't bother trying to find the sailor who was murdered by 3, so the story goes. He was murdered by 3 people he bought a beer for in the pub. And we're going to pass Gibbet Hill soon. But he's buried in this churchyard by all accounts. Wonderful ox eyes as we walk out of the churchyard. Wonderful sundial there. And as you can see, Green Sand Way leads right through the churchyard. There is a new seat here outside the church next to the lane, and there's the reason why. Ascending a lovely tree tunnel, quiet lane out of Thursley. Okay, coming off the lane, you've got an easily missed footpath here, not even a marker for it, and it looks like it's going to be a nightmare to get down. Let's see. Lane here on my left. Well, it's certainly starting to get overgrown and will be a lot worse within a few weeks. It's amazing how local authorities vary. Hertfordshire cut everything to within an inch of its life. Surrey don't seem to be too concerned about any of their footpaths from what I've seen thus far. Only the main players. Wonderful, there's a stream down there. So the GPX track is slightly different to the lie of the land, it seems, because I think the barbed wire fencing that I've just come past has been put up since I last did this walk, and we're now slightly different to the OS map, but let's see how it pans out. Yeah, we're on track as we join a byway here and cross over the stream on that bridge. And that looks like it's had a few repairs recently. Certainly well rutted. You'd need a good 4x4 to use this byway, and some certainly seem to be doing so. Ascending towards Devil's Punch Bowl now, up this lovely sunken lane. What a glorious afternoon, eh? Now entering the National Trust land, but as with in Bedfordshire the other week, the indicator of where we are exactly isn't there. It's odd. So here's the junction with the 4 blue markers on it. You can go left, descend into the bowl. That's not the point I'm going to take. I think we're at point 10 now. I'm going to continue straight on and go around the rim towards the National Trust Cafe that way. You definitely don't want right, so continue straight on if you want to stick to the rim, because we've got up here to this height. Don't want to go down too early. Wonderful views back across the bowl and towards where I started, eh? Fantastic. And all this an hour from London. I'm now stood at around 660 feet here, so suddenly we've ascended quite quickly. So although I didn't see that Sailor's Memorial, we are looking here at the memory of Norman Cairns Robertson. Who was killed in action in France during the Battle of the Somme. And if you wish to learn more about that, the Robertson Memorial, A Tale of Three Brothers. Cracking view here from Jules Bench, which is just behind me. Wonderful. Been blessed with the weather today, that's for sure. Passing an information panel about heathland from the Bronze Age to the Modern Age. information panel here about Highcombe Edge, and we're exactly 8 mile in here, 785 foot up, would you believe it? Pretty good height, eh, for the southeast. And we've been following something called the Highcombe Hike, amongst others. See, that's what I mean, that one tells us we're at Highcombe. Passing the National Trust's cafe and information centre here. It's quite busy today, as you'd imagine. And there's the tired looking Devil's Punch Bowl Hotel. Don't think that's had a lick of paint since I last passed it. But this has definitely been developed. You can tell. Quite new groundworks here. Nice place to work that would be. Immediately opposite the cafe I joined the Greensand Way here. So I've just checked the map, or the GPX track, and immediately below me at this point is the Hindhead tunnel, the A3 tunnel. So thankfully it did go underneath and not destroying all this lovely ancient forest. Thankfully the Trust have got rid of most of their rhododendron. One or two little snippets left though, as I descend on the Greensand Way. On the whole, this has been a good walk for a breezy day, because with a few exceptions it's been pretty enclosed in woodland, so hopefully the commentary won't be too badly affected. I do recall filming this spot from this spot previously, though I can't recall if this bench behind me was here then. Some interesting pipework running up this hill. Wonder what's in it. Water? No is the answer to that. Probably electrics. Now, had I taken the other option to see Gibbet Hill, I would have come from up there. So I've now rejoined that route, and this comes out opposite a private school. And guess what? There's no footpath for a mile according to the road sign, and it's going home time for the school kids. As you can see, quite busy. And this road still forms part of the Greensand Way as well. So come off the lane next to Beach House here, continue on the Greensand Way. Now the Greensand Way becomes a byway, but unsuitable for motors apparently. Do vaguely recall this section. If I remember correctly, it's almost like walking down a gully in the winter months. Can't remember when I did this walk last, in terms of month. Decent vista on my left as I descend into Haslemere. Very pleasant location for that property there. Views around the edge of Haslemere. I remember walking down this footpath on the Haslemere Circular. So we're not far from the station. In fact, I've just heard a train pull in. Now walking down a very dark tree tunnel. Passing St Bartholomew's Church. Haslemere. Crossing over the railway line, which I shall be on soon. Okay, now I'm going to vary the GPX route slightly here. I'm not going to go down to the A road, which is where the GPX track goes, but I'm going to follow this footpath to town sign. Because as I say, I don't want to be walking at this time next to an A road for a little distance. Very close to the station now, and we're now on the Serpent Trail, which I've encountered previously. So here we are, back at base. 11.6 miles I made that, 4 hours 51. Now about 5 o'clock now, so plenty of time to spare today, having started an hour earlier. And I did not remember any of that walk, really, and how very pleasant it was. Quite a good workout, that one as well. Plenty of ups and downs, and absolutely no chance of encountering any cattle on that route, so gets 5 out of 5 for me, that one. I don't know if I'll be getting back down this way again, but I highly recommend that route. It's now a busy station here at Haslemere, as you'd imagine, 5 o'clock. So let's press on. Weather held out as well, albeit it's starting to grey over now, so I might be in luck. So until the next time,